Hello, we've been expecting you. Welcome to the For Your Ears Only podcast. My name is Jack and I'm joined by fellow host Derek. Over the series of the show, we will be discussing all of the James Bond movies in order to rediscover our love for the films and to learn a few new things along the way. In each episode, we will deep dive into the actors, the gadgets, the villains, and the music. We will also be uncovering little known facts and discussing our favourite Bond moments and how these have contributed to the film's enduring legacy. We even have 3 questions throughout the episode that only the biggest Bond fans will answer correctly. So strap yourself to that jetpack and get those martinis shaken as we are about to begin.
Episode 001, Dr. No, 1962, directed by Terence Young. What do you think of the film, Jack?
I think it's pretty dated.
It is very dated.
It's very dated. It's quite old now, but when I was rewatching it, I actually really liked the title sequence. It's like so typically 60s with all the coloured dots and things.
It's almost Austin Powersy.
Yeah.
Everything's Austin Powersy.
Yeah, I think because Austin Powers is probably more recent to us, we kind of relate it.
It's all just kind of ripped off from that point.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, we have a host challenge with the podcast. So in every single episode, obviously, we go through different films and we'll take it in turns to try and describe the film we're discussing inside 2 minutes.
Okay.
That's the time the bomb goes off, so you can't do that. And your time to describe Dr. No will be when the stealth boat woman announces... and go.
Okay, so the film opens with James Bond in a casino playing Baccarat. He then gets a call to say that he's needed at HQ to see M. Why is that? Because over in Jamaica, somebody has been shot and his office ransacked. Nobody knows why. So they're calling in somebody from London to go and investigate. So that's really just a detective story, really. James Bond flies over to Jamaica and throughout all of his investigations finds out that somebody that should be working for him is actually working for a mysterious figure called Dr. No. And throughout his travels, he meets up with American Felix Leiter and Quarrel, a local Jamaican. And then they finally get to the lair of Dr. No, where he has to defeat a tank dressed up as a dragon. And that's true. It is true. They find out that he's trying to thwart the US missile launch for some reason using nuclear power. So James Bond basically throws him into a nuclear reactor, destroys the island, and the American missiles are safe. He then gets a girl. The end. How long was that?
Too bad. That was 1 minute 33.
It felt so much longer.
Was it longer? That was concise.
I skipped the middle third, basically.
You did sell the film of saying this happened for some reason, which we'll get on to.
Yeah.
There was bits where that question, I go, why is this happening? The tank didn't really make much sense. I don't understand why there was a tank.
Oh, the sort of guard tank, I guess, that Quarrel thinks is a dragon, which is slightly...
The island's covered in sand. Why do you need a tank? Tanks are only there to fight kind of other tanks and other...
I think the tank's really just to stop people coming on, or kill people who come onto the island.
The island cost $1 million.
$1 million.
Not bad. So, as you said, they're like the missiles were a big thing of... Not missiles, it was a rocket.
It was like
it was a rocket.
A rocket, it's their space program.
Yes.
The
I
US.
completely misremembered this film from when I was a child.
Yeah.
I thought there was something in the mountain that shot things down, and then when the thing came up, went bloop, and it was just a wee radar And I thought, what's that? Is that Sky TV?
Yeah.
What is this for?
When I was rewatching it, and you see like the tiny little satellite that comes out of the island,
Yes.
and you're thinking, why is there a massive nuclear reactor? Why did he need a full entire island for this tiny satellite?
Yes.
That's 6 feet maybe max,
The technology of the time.
probably.
That was really it. But obviously that did inspire why the film was made like that way, in terms of that didn't inspire, but the history of the world at that point inspired how the film was made. So around the time of filming, so was it started 61? It did start 61.
I think they filmed it in 61. Yeah.
So we have the Cuban Missile Crisis, Marilyn Monroe found dead. I don't really know why that applies, but that happened. The first man in space, which was Yuri Gagarin, and the CIA tried to kill Castro in the Bay of Pigs. So an assassination. An assassin is sent to the islands south of America, quite close to home actually.
What, Cuba was it?
Yes. So this happened around the
don't
time.
know.
So again, the world knew about the space program, and
Yeah, the space race was kind of hyping up, I
that was
guess.
the Cold War. Is the Cold War and the space race the same thing? I don't know.
I think they're intertwined, but they're not like the
Same
exact.
sides.
Yeah,
Different ballgame.
yeah. It's a side quest for the whole
Rescue
Cold
missions.
War.
So we have assassinations, missiles, space. That's
Yep.
the first film, and that's actually real life.
And yeah, it's actually probably the first like 6 films, really.
Marilyn Monroe found dead. However,
Yeah.
the secret intelligence service did not send someone to find if it was suspicious circumstances. Or maybe they did. I don't know. I wasn't alive.
You
I
weren't
wasn't
there.
involved
You'll never know.
with the program. So that's why.
Yeah, so the film was really this. It's really just the early 60s or the late. I guess the book was really the late 50s, and they just kind of. It's just everything that was happening at that time is all happening in this film. Just the sort of xenophobia, the space race.
Is the book like the film? I've never read the book.
The book is basically the same. Yeah, it's all set in Jamaica about rockets and stuff.
But this was at the same time, so
Yeah.
same influences.
Yeah. What was quite cool though is that I think we said they filmed in 61. I think they actually started in January 62. And the film was edited and out by October 62. 10 months to do that entire film.
You wouldn't get that.
You don't get that nowadays. It's like 5 years of film.
I don't think you can make.
Well,
TV
Spectre,
shows like
between
that.
Spectre and
Yeah.
No Time to Die was 5 years.
Was it?
Yeah.
Well, let's forget there was a couple of things in the middle.
If you're going to add in
Was
that.
it ready?
It
to
was
go?
ready
It was
for 5 years.
It was delayed twice before COVID. Was it?
Well, it's set 5 years. This is the wrong film we're talking about.
I know. We'll get to that.
We'll get to that.
Many months later.
But yeah, to have it all done in 10 months, which is probably pretty standard back then, because every film in the 60s, like the whole series, is out every year.
It was a
actually.
simple film, though. It was
Yes.
it was very easy to follow. James Bond flies to a different country, kills people, leaves.
Leaves a hero.
That was it.
Yeah.
Sean Connery got a tan, and that was all you needed to make that. So that's not too bad. So we have the influences there. At this point,
Yeah.
it's probably good to mention the social media. So obviously we are the For Your Ears Only podcast, as we said in the intro. You can find us on Instagram, you can find us on Facebook, you can find us in the show notes, all links to these pages, and you will want to follow us.
Yes.
Because throughout the episodes we will have 3 questions. Only the best Bond fans will know the answers to these questions, and you need to have watched the film to know the questions, or the answers to the questions as well. So, we'll start with question 1.
Right. Now pay attention, 007.
Thanks, Q.
Nice.
So, question 1 is, Dr. No has dual nationalities, Chinese, and what else?
That is a
Send-
good question, because I didn't know the answer to that.
Even after watching.
He had to
I
rewatch
watched it
it.
and I wrote it down.
I had to rewatch it.
I will stump Jack with this.
That was
so if you know
good.
the answer to that question, then send us a DM on Instagram, on Facebook, send us a letter. But we won't,
Yeah.
we won't
Carrier pigeon.
Carrier pigeon. sends it in a diplomatic bag, which is in this film. Nice cross reference.
That is good. That's how he gets his what's that called?
His what? Geiger counter.
His Geiger counter.
Yes.
Yes.
Not very technological, but
No.
there we go.
That's all he had.
So in the film, obviously, this was the first film, first James Bond film to put together. You know more about this film than me. You know more about James Bond than me, just in general.
That's not true.
That is no. I thought that was the ring. No.
Do you want to see my socks?
No.
Yes, you do.
Okay.
pink
For
socks.
those watching this on YouTube, you can see the socks. For those not watching it on YouTube, he has pink socks with tiny James Bonds on them.
They're quite cool. They're actually from the official James Bond store.
How much did those cost?
I got them from my dad for Christmas, but he never wore them, so I stole them.
That doesn't count. That doesn't answer the question either. How much did they
I
cost?
can't remember. I think they were £12 for the pack.
Oh, that's not bad, actually. What did we look at last week? No, a couple of weeks ago, and we went on the James Bond store, and there was a teddy.
Oh, the
and
teddy
it was
bear.
like £300 for a tiny teddy, and it was sold out.
A teddy bear in a tuxedo.
Yes.
That was good. Should get that for next time.
No, man.
That should be our prop.
The prop?
Yeah.
We'd have to sell it on, like, auction it off.
Sign it.
So,
Yeah,
going to
okay.
the film, like, why was Sean Connery chosen?
I think
him?
Sean Connery was actually, by no means, it was nobody's first choice. Nobody had even thought of him, really. I think Ian Fleming himself kind of really wanted Cary Grant to be James Bond, but at the time he was like pretty old and grey, so... But he said he only wanted to do one film, and I think that's really because he was so old. And they wanted him to, basically the actor, to be able to do as many as possible, the full series. Okay. So he got kind of...
The full series?
Oh, well, I think it was like a 5-picture deal or something.
They did do 3 films in the space of 3 years, so I think they were gunning for everything.
Yeah, all
That's
eggs in the
a hard
basket. No time off.
So why was Sean picked? Why Sean?
Well, in the end, Sean was picked because one of the producers was watching a Disney film, and I can't remember what it was called. It's like an Irish name, something in The Little People, which is about leprechauns, back when Disney were like evil, still evil. And Sean Connery was the lead in it, and he actually sang.
This podcast is sponsored by Disney.
And he sang, and he was in it, and basically they just said, he looks good enough, bring him in for an audition.
It was the wife, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was the wife was like, he looks sexy. Go cast him.
Yeah, I would have thought
so
like,
they
the
did.
casting person would have taken like a hit to the ego and went, no, not him.
No, not him.
Stay away from my wife.
Do you want to know the name of the film?
Yes.
It was Darby O'Gill and the Little People.
Darby O'Gill and the Little People.
I think he chose that because there's not really any S's through it. So he would just say...
so that he doesn't...
Darby O'Gill and Little People. That was more like Liam Neeson than anything.
Yeah, but when he got cast, obviously he was nothing like... If you watch that film, he doesn't look very James Bond. He's not very elegant. He's massive eyebrows. He doesn't look...
I thought you meant Dr. No.
No. Sean Connery.
He's an actor.
But he was actually Mr. Universe. Sean Connery.
No, he wasn't.
He was. Like,
What, like
in the
bodybuilding?
50s. Uh-huh. Get a picture up. Get a picture up.
Mr. Universe. No, he wasn't. Was he actually?
Google it.
I'm not going to take... No, I'm not going to take... No, I don't believe you.
Okay.
I'm not falling for this job.
Sean Connery placed third in the Mr. Universe contest in 1950.
Third. Well, he was in it.
It could have been second. No, third.
That would probably help him with the sort of British kind of
I suppose as well, like... No, but back then you didn't really... I imagine whoever won it wasn't like today's...
Yeah, the
It
physique.
wasn't like Arnold. It wasn't anything like that.
No.
It wasn't like the days of like Pump and Iron onwards.
Yeah,
I think
steroids.
it would have just been a guy who was tall, wasn't fat, and maybe had a full head of hair.
Sean Connery was on the edge.
think that's like back in the 60s. That's like, I don't know.
That's all women wanted.
Yeah, it didn't get to the 80s where it was like Rocky and things like that. People didn't.
Yeah.
Did people. Was there gyms in the 60s? I don't know. Now we're just speculating.
Was there gyms in the 60s?
Anyway, it's time
Probably.
for our sponsor, Universal Sports, the #1 distributor of vague explanations. Thanks.
That was a good joke, and I hope everybody gets it.
I hope everyone gets it as well. So we've understood why Sean was cast because of his singing abilities and his third place medal.
Yes.
We then move on to the Bond girl.
You
You did tell me about this. And
Ursula Andress.
I thought it was quite interesting because I had no idea.
Ursula Andress
Yes.
played Honey Rider.
Yes.
Yeah, so basically, why did she get
I thought you
put in this
you told
film?
me it was for pictures.
It was because basically she had pictures of her taken by her boyfriend on holiday. So she's in a bikini on holiday with her boyfriend or husband, partner, and those somehow got circulated in this
Before the internet.
circulated in the seedy underworld of British film producers. Ended up on the Cubby Broccoli's like table, and they were talking about her and they just went, "She looks good. Get her in for an audition."
The 60s. And what did they not know?
What they didn't know is that she had a very heavy accent because she wasn't English. I think she's Austrian. Did we look that up?
I didn't.
I can't remember. But she's got a heavy accent.
And you said
And they didn't know that.
They dubbed everything.
And so her whole voice in the whole film was overdubbed by somebody else.
Good. I had no idea. There's a lot I didn't know about this film. But I still, like, even back then, overdubbing someone's voice is very precise.
And you wouldn't know, actually, which is pretty good.
Yeah.
Some of it you can tell, like some
It's
other
like-
films. Yeah.
It's like Singing in the Rain. It is definitely Singing in the Rain. When they overdub the woman's voice, who can't sing.
So easy just to like see if you look good. You don't even need to read the script. Do a test.
The 60s.
Just send in your picture, your nudes. You've got a film roll.
Okay. Do you have like a headshot? I have one picture on the beach. Okay, well you've got the job. And then we get the villain of Dr. No.
I'd like
Joseph
you to talk
Wiseman.
about Joseph Wiseman.
Well, the first thing about Joseph Wiseman I did not know is that he's not Chinese.
No, he's not Chinese.
For all of my life, and I still continue this, I thought that was an actual Chinese actor.
Did you actually?
Yes.
Even with the name Joseph Wiseman.
I didn't know his name was Joseph Wiseman.
Okay.
If I thought Joseph Wiseman, is that not like the milk guy?
That's right,
Wiseman
actually.
days.
It's
Is it
right.
Joseph Wiseman?
It is Wise. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is.
Stop drinking that milk.
drink
Yeah,
milk
I had
anyway.
no idea. I have no idea. I don't even know why they cast him. I'm assuming he was just a good actor.
I don't really know why he cast him
I don't
either.
think he sent them pictures of him on the beach.
No. How could they get away with that? Well, it's because it's the 60s.
Yeah,
It's the 60s.
back then. But yeah, I think that was.
On that note,
Oh no.
there is another actress in the film who gets makeup.
Yes, the photographer. No.
No, it gets her makeup done to make her look Chinese. And it is the girl that I remember he's like, it's the secretary for Strangways. Remember? He goes to her house and gets her basically escorted out. She gets
He hands her into the police,
hands her into
even
the
though
police.
she hasn't committed a crime.
Yeah, because she works for Dr. No or something. She was made to look Chinese.
Why? That's why we don't have the answers. We're just here to ask the question.
Because Chinese people were evil back then? I don't know.
I don't know.
According
I don't
to
understand
this.
Right, so we've got to the bottom of Doctor No. There's no answers in this podcast. I hope you've not come here to learn something.
No.
You learn facts that you will never share with another human being. But interesting. Kind of.
Yeah.
Well, actually, no, the car's interesting. That I like that story.
The car is interesting. Yeah, the fact that, well, they had, because it's the first film, there was no sponsorship deals or anything. They were just going out there to make a film, and they were thinking, what kind of cars? James Bond should have a car, fancy, cool sports car. And basically, because they never had the money to bring anything over, they just basically went round and found some guy who lived on the island who had a nice car and said, can we use this car for the film? Mm-hmm. And he was like, yeah, sure. So just some random guy's car.
Money somewhere.
Like what is it? An Alpine something?
It is a Sunbeam Alpine.
Which is a pretty cool car if you look it up now.
I've never heard of it.
It's also not that expensive to considering it's like a 60s car right now.
How expensive is it?
Like between 30 and 50 I think you can get it for right now.
Probably breakdown.
Probably.
Tesla.
But I think that's quite cool because they had no sponsorship. Again, the 60s is like, very free and trusting, obviously. Just, can I have your car for 2 weeks? Yeah, sure.
It's like thrifty.
Yes.
You wouldn't get that now.
No.
No, I have to pay for everything. I have to build the car. And we've built 5 cars. This is the stunt car. This is a car that doesn't move.
Backup car.
This is a car that catches fire. This is a car that's invisible.
Kind of like the Terminator film.
Mm-hmm.
Where at one point the Terminator like smashes a car windscreen to try and steal the car. Mm-hmm. That they didn't have permission for that. It was just somebody's car.
I remember hearing about that.
He just like smashed somebody's windscreen in. That was the 80s.
Surely, the 80s. But surely he would have hurt himself. But he was so in the zone, so being the Terminator, they just didn't feel pain.
Yeah, maybe.
We've mentioned Arnold Schwarzenegger twice in this podcast. I never expected that.
No, that was curveball.
You put in sound effects. So, like, James Bond films are synonymous with having gadgets, but there wasn't many gadgets in this. There was...
No, I think we mentioned the only gadget, which was the Geiger counter.
Which isn't really it.
Which comes in halfway through the film.
Which is alright. But it doesn't...
It doesn't really add to anything.
But did he use that to find the island, or did he just use
it? It was the rocks.
Yeah.
Remember, he was getting the rocks scanned, so he had a Geiger counter to scan the rocks. But then I don't know why he did it in the first place.
But then I still don't really understand what Dr. No's deal was. I don't understand what was his plan. He spoke about talking to Spectre, or he works with Spectre.
He works for Spectre,
right? And they were trying to control a rocket. They were trying to do something with a rocket.
I think they were trying to disrupt it.
Right.
Not like control it to crash it into anything.
Why did they need any sort of nuclear power to do that?
I don't know.
But then the room that they're in is like, it's just a big bath.
But I think it goes back to the period that the film is set in, like nuclear. It's probably a scary word.
Nobody knew it was going to. Just boiling water. It's nuclear.
Yeah.
But it's fine. You've got this plastic, so you'll be fine.
Yeah.
And then the end where Dr. No has no hands.
Yeah.
But he has these mechanical hands,
like metal,
like prosthetic ones. But then when James Bond goes to fight, I mean, this man is technically registered disabled. he has prosthetic hands, but then when an intruder, like, you have the security, you have an intruder come into the facility, everyone leaves, even the security leaves and goes, no, you can deal with that, and you're like, no, he can't do that.
But because his metal hands.
He's metal hands, and he's really old. Like, no,
yeah, he's pretty old.
No, he can fight off this guy.
Well,
that's not fair.
I'd rather have the guy with metal hands fight someone than me.
No, but that was his downfall. He couldn't grip onto the metal. The thing he just slid into this soup.
And boils alive.
Yes.
Like a lobster.
Yes, like a lobster. And where's the security? They left.
Yeah, the place was going to explode. I'd leave.
Why did the place explode?
Because it's nuclear.
No, there was nothing. Again,
that's as far as you're going to get.
Again, it's like filmmaking. It's like there's nothing to contain it, and then there's a bit of beach that just explodes for no reason. Like, that's nuclear, mate. The sand explodes.
The 60s, man.
There's the gun. I like the gun bit.
The change of gun.
The switch.
Right at the start.
So I think most James Bond fans will know this. I didn't know this until I found the person's name.
I'll teach you it again.
Of the that will teach me just to pay attention, is for the majority of the films, James Bond has a Walther PPK, but at first had a Beretta Italian pistol, which was fit for purpose because it was small. However, in Ian Fleming's books, a reader, I thought he was American. He's not.
No, he was English but lived in Glasgow, actually.
That was it. Yes, of course he did.
So of course he needs to know all about guns.
Yeah, he lived in Glasgow, English, gun enthusiast.
Yep.
Wrote in to the author and said, "No, you're wrong. James Bond wouldn't have this. This is a woman's gun." And the author,
which is quite cool.
And the author said, "Okay,
Yeah.
I'll change it, thanks." Which you wouldn't get nowadays.
No, you'd probably get some reason back why he had to use that.
You would get called out on Twitter by the author.
Yeah, but just no response.
J.K. Rowling, that spell wouldn't work here. You'd be cancelled.
Magic isn't real.
That's your critique of the Harry Potter books. Magic's not. It's not real. But we couldn't fly because it doesn't exist. So I thought that was quite cool. And then not only did he change it because this gun had better stopping power.
Yeah,
that it's still
he
the
gave
same
him
size.
It was a CIA's gun or something that he gave him.
He gave him a wee hat tip in the film, and the armourer was called Boothroyd after Geoffrey Boothroyd. That's quite cool. You wouldn't get that nowadays. Cool. I think it is that kind of environment of kind of know-it-all, where if a producer, or I think if you say, well, actually no, I don't know enough about that, and the internet calls you an idiot, and that's the end of the conversation.
Yeah, well, maybe Ian Fleming should have done his research. Do you think that's an issue?
Ian Fleming had too much on his plate. No, he wasn't. He was living in Jamaica. He was having quite a good life, I believe.
Yeah.
Just writing books.
I wonder what made him say that Beretta in the first place.
Probably he probably had a book on guns, and Beretta's like a really, really old company.
I don't know.
I know it's a really old Italian gun. They still make guns to this day.
Okay.
And the guns are so expensive that they're probably about $100,000 each, and it's because they're all like still made the traditional way with like carved wood and such. It's on the
nice.
James May thing when James May goes to Italy.
Is that the Beretta factory?
That's the Beretta factory.
Oh,
yes.
wow.
That's the big expensive guns.
I didn't know that. I must have missed that.
That's the company that got slammed in Hollywood.
Yeah.
You're going to shite
got
the gem.
replaced by the Germans.
Yeah, I don't understand why they did that. They could have just said, this gun's a bit better. But he said, no, this gun keeps jamming. And I feel as though there's a PR person for Beretta going,
Beretta
no,
sales, the shares have just
our guns
plummeted.
are fine. I like that.
That is quite cool. That is quite cool.
And then there's all the rest of James Bond films have their own sponsors, like Omega, and there's lots of others like Smirnoff Vodka, Aston Martin, everything. Like obviously Heineken recently, but then back then he had a Rolex.
He had a Rolex, but it wasn't a sponsorship deal. Again,
did some guy on the island have a Rolex?
Yes, it was the producer.
Oh right.
The producer's he needed a watch, so he was like, just use mine. There was no sponsorship deal because of this.
He just didn't have a watch.
Yeah.
James Bond should have a watch. Here's
James
mine.
Bond should have like a nice watch. So
and then there's the vodka, which I still find is funny, is the fact that a hotel just has a drawer of vodka. 2 bottles. Actually.
2 bottles per room. It's cool, isn't it?
If you finish this one, here's another bottle of vodka for some mad reason. Go get mad with it. Go have a good time.
In the books, he drinks Red Stripe beer. Did you know that?
What, for like the catty?
Yeah. People won't know what that is.
Did that exist back then?
What, Red Stripe? The
Red
beer?
Stripe, yeah.
Well, it's Jamaican, isn't it?
I wish it is Jamaican, yeah. No. You can't have James Bond like necking pints.
Yeah, it doesn't really suit the image.
Just like staggering about.
Right, okay, question 2.
What's the next thing? So, we'll go on to question 2. So, pay attention to question 2. Which is, how much would one of the shells Honey Rider found on the beach sell for in Miami?
She does say that.
If you've not watched the film, that sounds like the nichest question.
Yeah.
In 1962,
How much are shells?
how much would a Jamaican shell sell for in Miami? It's almost like a question that's designed, you're not going to get this correct. So yes, how much was one of the shells Honey Rider found on the beach? How much would that sell for in Miami?
I asked my brother these questions and he got none of them.
None of them?
No.
Idiot.
Loser.
Sorry, Aaron, you'll just have to watch the films again. So yes, if you know the answers, then send us
She does say it.
a message. If you want to rewatch the film, and you get nothing from it other than second-hand enjoyment. I don't know. I'm waffling now.
Waffle. Don't like waffle.
So yeah, that's question 2. Another thing we are going to do throughout the episodes is discuss Bond moments. And Bond moments are, as we said, it's the things that make the Bond films
Memorable.
Yeah.
Quotable. That kind
I'd
of.
say the only other series of films which is on par with this is the Mission Impossible films. They have moments
Oh,
where...
with like, did you see that moment?
Yeah, I mean, I suppose like the way we would describe it is like iconic, impactful, and memorable moments in the films, clips which are trailer worthy, or moments which the viewer cannot wait to tell others about after watching, which you don't get nowadays. Because as soon as you start telling someone about a scene in a film, they go, "Oh no, spoiler! Don't tell me."
Yeah.
Whereas, like, I think the example you had recently was the Burj Khalifa in Mission Impossible.
Yeah,
He's
that was
hanging
good.
From that doesn't spoil the film, but that's
No.
like, oh, Tom Cruise is hanging. He probably was. Like,
And
crazy
yeah,
bastard.
in real life, probably did do that.
Yeah, like, so things like that. So there's things throughout the Bond films where if someone described this, you would know it's a James Bond film, or if you hadn't seen it, you'd be like, oh, that sounds like a James Bond moment,
Yeah.
kind of thing. The games have it as well, where it's like, Bond moment, come and do this.
Yeah, like they have the little tune plays when you shoot something.
Yes. Yeah, if I was driving and there was like a ramp to the side of the road, I wouldn't drive up. But if I was to hit it at speed and fly in my car, that would be a Bond moment.
That would be a Bond
And I would
moment.
think that'd be a Bond moment before I came immediately to unconsciousness. After the car landed.
Hospital.
Yes. So, what are your favourite Bond moments?
From this film, it has to be right at the start, the first ever time that he says Bond, James Bond.
Yes.
And it has the little tune, the little theme song underneath him saying that. That's a pretty cool moment because it sort of just encapsulates the whole character.
I think if you were to take that still and ask most people and say, what does he say here? What happens next? Even if you've not seen it, you see it at the start of, like, when you put DVDs on, there's like trailers for like MGM or other films. That's just always it. That one line. He says his name 1.5 times. That's it. It's just
Why is it so cool?
I don't even know why he says it. Was that in the script or did he forget?
I don't
Bond.
know.
James Bond. But it does work.
Yeah.
And then if anyone says their name, like if I said Whiteford, Derek Whiteford, people are like, shut up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, you're like, oh, you think you're James Bond. He owns saying your name 1.5 times. This fictional character.
I don't know if in the plot he only does it because the person he's talking to, Sylvia Trench, says her name is Trench, Sylvia Trench, and then he goes, my name is Bond, James Bond. In the
Sylvia
plot,
Trench owns it.
yeah, you could say that. But who is she now?
Welcome to the Sylvia Trench podcast.
Where's her
Sponsored by Sony.
podcast?
My favourite moment is, it's not a moment, it's not a cool moment, but something that sits with me since I was a wee boy is when he kills the spider. I'd love if a listener has not seen this film and is working off our interpretation of it first. This sounds like the most boring film in the world. Your most exciting moment is when he says his own name. My most exciting moment is when he kills a spider with a shoe.
Spy.
It's just, he's in bed, a spider is left by...
Strangways.
Strangways is the guy who dies?
Oh,
or not?
Dent.
Dent, yes, the
Dent.
doctor.
Professor Dent,
Yeah, he leaves a spider in his room. The spider somehow makes it to the bed. James Bond gets into his bed, doesn't notice this tarantula, which you don't believe is poisonous.
No, tarantulas in real life aren't poisonous.
They are creepy though.
I think it's just 'cause they find the biggest spider we can.
Yeah.
Again, it's just like, yeah, it's nuclear.
And
It's
it,
like doesn't even mean anything.
It'd be easier to just kill him, just send an assassin. But he's in a spider, and the spider crawls up, and then he jumps off the bed, and then he battles it with a shoe.
Yeah.
But then if I was to tell someone, oh, Doctor No was great, and this spider was in his room, and he just killed it with his shoe, most people are going to go, I did that last Tuesday. I'm at James Bond now.
Yeah.
But that freaked me out when I was a boy, and it stuck with me. And
Do you not like spiders?
I don't not like spiders. I just don't want them on me. Like most
Okay.
things, I don't want buildings on me. Like, I don't like them.
I don't have a fear of spiders, but if I seen a giant tarantula, I'd be like,
What country am I in?
yeah, I'm in the wrong country. Where have I woken up?
I don't know. I don't like it. When I was a wee boy, whenever I get into bed, I was always looking. It scarred me in the right way.
Did you know?
like spiders and stuff like that? So
Did you know
what?
that Sean Connery was also very scared of spiders?
Was this bit just unscripted? But did he know there was a spider?
No, it was a scripted scene, but he was so afraid of spiders that the spider that you see going up his arm, there's a glass plate that it sits on so that it's not actually touching his skin because he's so afraid of spiders, and his reaction in sweat is all real because he hates spiders.
Wait a minute. This guy was given the script. There'll be a spider on you. Surely could have just went, no, spider. Like,
No spider.
No.
So yeah, so there's a see-through plate. You can actually see it in some of it. If you now that you know about it, you can probably see it. And the bit
So he really, actually, realistically killed the spider though.
in this and the part of the scene where you can see it actually on somebody's skin, that is
Someone else.
actually is a stunt guy. It's
Oh.
not actually Sean Connery.
The stuntman made his money that day. I have
Yeah.
a spider on my arm.
Yeah, I only found that out recently.
What a big shite bag.
Yeah, a bit wimp.
What else was it? There was the Three Blind Mice.
Yeah, I think it was just so unexpected. That's how cool. That's why it's so cool. Because they are just like
cool.
three blind men who actually turn out to be assassins
Who can see,
who can see.
who shoot from afar, who miss on one occasion.
Maybe they are blind then.
They can't. No, surely not. Surely there's assassins on the island that can see. I don't know. Well, they did send a spider after they went off a cliff, and that was they had the hearse. They drove off the cliff in the hearse, and then there was a bond line of
Yeah, one liner.
wait to catch a funeral, late for a funeral.
Yeah, something like that. They're
off
on
to a
the way
funeral.
to
Something about a funeral where the car, just a normal car, landed, and then Hollywood steps in and goes, "We want to blow it up," and it just explodes from the inside.
for no
I was
reason.
like, okay, that's fine. That blows up. Let's explode.
Yeah, so the three blind mice are the assassins that kill Strangways right at the start of the film. So Strangways was one of Ian Fleming's friends who just lived in Jamaica, and he was like, "Do you want to be in my film? I'll give you this little
the
scene."
easiest casting job in the world. They just looked out.
Did
to the
anybody get
neighbours-
paid?
The neighbours and went, "You."
Yeah, so I think he was a farmer in Jamaica or something at the time. He was like, "Do you want to be in my film? You can be the guy that gets killed at the start." So the three blind mice obviously kill him and then throw his body into the hearse, but they don't throw him in far enough. So when they throw him in and they close the door, it whacks off his head,
And he's actually dead.
which you can see in the film if you like pause it or whatever. You can see that it hits him off his head but doesn't close, so it opens again as they speed off.
And there's just this little
Just this-
groaning in the background. What was that about the Three Blind Mice as well? Like that wasn't actors, or was it actors?
Yes, one of them is the guy who got hit. That's his dentist. They're not actors. Nobody's an actor in this film, apparently.
So the Ian Fleming's friend, that was his dentist. So he was just in the dentist chair. And he was like,
We need someone.
What are you doing today? Wait, this film. Oh, they actually need somebody. Do you want to come along?
Yeah, it sounds like such a student film. Just
Yes.
bring your friends. I need somebody.
How much did it make?
How much did it make?
Yeah. It cost like $1 million or something to make it.
I
I don't know how much. It still made money today. Like
Yeah.
Bezos
See, all those students out there, you could.
with $1 million. Like
No, if a massive Hollywood film can get made, like on the fly, just bringing in your friends, then there's hope
but
for
they had
everybody.
a lot of source material. They
They did.
They could go back to nice and easy.
They did.
That was quite good. I have no more moments.
Yeah, you do.
Do I?
The best moment where he kills Dent.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Ursula and Andress. I'm not trying to say her name because I can't say her name. Oh, when he shoots him.
Where he
after
shoots him,
leaves.
you've had your six. Well,
Yeah.
that's probably the best line in the film.
Yeah, just because he doesn't care.
Yeah, because he's so heartless, yeah. And
I did
just
like
cold-blooded.
That was like one of the moments where it was an actual spy film. So this film
Yeah.
is very driven in spy and like counter intelligence, really. Where he puts the hair up against the bed, no, up against the wardrobe,
Yeah.
and then he puts talcum powder on the briefcase. None of these things
For
deter
fingerprints.
someone from coming in. They just open it, and then he's like, "Oh, someone's been in my wardrobe. Where are all my clothes?"
Yeah.
And then there was obviously the vodka. But where
Those are
he's-
cool, like real life things that probably
Yes.
would have happened.
Yeah. I don't know how you could sleep. If he knows people are coming in and out his room, I don't know how he's not just getting like bags under his eyes every day. Just in the corner with a gun shaking.
Because, I don't know. Just.
Because he's James Bond.
Yeah.
Shit scared of spiders. Spiders. That is quite a good moment, actually.
Yeah, I think they posted it on their YouTube channel, just that scene recently, and it's one of the best scenes. You've had your six. Because at that time I was like, oh, nice. Of course, when you think back here, like, obviously you'd have to count how many
Yeah.
rounds he's fired. But I was like, oh, nice. Just so suave.
I think that is the essence of an experienced military person. Because they're quite good at counting shots they fire, so they know how many
What
are
they've got
left, like in a clip. It's not Call of Duty. You just press square, now reload. You need to know. And it's not good enough if you pull the trigger and nothing comes out. Because then you dead. You dead like Dent. Professor Dent.
Professor Dead.
I'm waffling again. Professor Dead. So, I like those moments. There wasn't a lot to this film. I think it was
No.
a very simple film.
I think because it's the first one, everyone's still trying to find their footing, like this
Yeah.
podcast. You're just kind of trying everything out, and nothing's been solidified as. There was basically no Bond moments. They were just moments in a film that became massive,
Iconic, yeah.
afterwards, and they were like, okay, now we have to replicate that for the next 50 years.
And obviously, there was no song. There was no song with this film either. So it was just Monty Norman and John Barry.
What's the story about
don't know
where the
the-
song came from?
Monty Norman. What was in the documentary? Monty Norman wrote the song for a stage production, but it was written on a sitar, which does sound very cool.
Yeah,
But then it doesn't sound cool on a sitar for like an action film. So then John Barry came in and just essentially pushed a button that said grand.
yeah, it
And I
said
was like,
electric guitar.
Yeah, electric guitar and horns and I was like, John Barry, big shagger.
I think everybody who listens to this.
Like all the pictures of John Barry was like another celebrity and I was like, come on.
Surrounded by women.
Yes,
Yeah.
that was it. John Barry was the old James Bond, but he wasn't scared of spiders.
No,
No,
no.
no.
I liked it how Monty Norman had this song from a play, you're right, that was like based around in India. And the song was called something like I Have an Unlucky Sneeze. And that was the lyrics.
Oh yeah, because when he started
Remember that?
when he started singing it in the documentary, and I was like, that is shit. That is whack.
Yeah,
I'm
it was.
glad nothing came of that.
Yeah, there's a reason that never went anywhere.
Yeah, I just but the song.
And then it became something just the same thing, same melody, but completely different.
Yeah,
And it's now the coolest
I think as
song.
well like it's simple like.
Iconic.
See, in the same way, like it's like Bond, James Bond, like three things.
Uh-huh.
But if you take three notes together and play them in that like bum bum, four notes, bum bum bum, bum. That is just James Bond.
Yeah, and if
that's-
anybody does it in any other song that's not James Bond,
You've ripped that off.
yeah,
You've ripped
you
off
get
those
called
full
out.
notes put together and just essentially going in a descending scale.
yeah, you get called out for it.
They own
Lazy.
music and names. Quite lazy when you think about it. Anyway. I have no more moments. That was a relatively simple film to go through.
Yeah, I still don't understand what the point
Of anything is.
of life is. What was the point of why did
Don't know.
Spectre want to do this?
I don't know. They wanted rockets. Or they wanted to control the rockets.
They want to disrupt the rocket, but why?
I don't trust an organisation that puts the word terrorism in their own name.
Even if they're the bad guys.
Is it not like that Mitchell and Webb thing where it's like the SS and they've got the skull and they're like, are we the bad guys? Like, it's like almost like, it's almost like, what's the business plan? Just evil. We're going to just fuck things up.
If that's
We're going to blow up the world, but do it in a
traditional
really,
will.
really organised and convoluted way. But one man can stop us. Not armies, just one guy.
one
Who's
guy.
afraid of spiders. Send in the spiders. Yeah, I
It
don't
must
know.
be for money, wasn't it? Because it is extortion, part of the name.
Oh, was that it? They were just going to hold up the rock. Hold up, I don't know what they were going to do. What were they going to do with this rocket? They didn't explain it.
No, it's when they
He was
have
too busy
the
talking about his fish and how the lens was big.
yeah. At that table conversation, they mentioned how it was just to basically flex
Yes.
at how good he was to the Americans. Look, we can control your missiles, but not really asking for anything. Just saying, look what I can do.
We can do it. But that's a good segue, because on that note, it brings us on to question 3. This is a hard question.
A very hard question.
They don't mention it in the film.
No.
You just need to know it. You just need to have the knowledge and be prepared to send it to us in a DM.
Yes.
So, in the layer where this conversation goes on,
Yeah, where Dr. Knows explains his plan.
yes,
like every
explains
villain ever.
always plan so it can be stopped. There is a real life stolen piece of art that's on display. So not in the film world, in real life, this piece of art was missing, and it was in the layer, and it was shown to the camera, and James Bond stops and looks at it. Who is the portrait of? That's a very hard question.
It's a
actually.
very hard question.
Yeah, I said like an unconventional funny bit of the film that I did start laughing at, and it wasn't meant to be funny, but I like old films for that, is where he's looking for the woman at the end, and he's like running through the corridor, and he just grabs a guy,
Yeah.
a member of staff. Imagine doing this in any other business. Grabs a member of staff, and he just goes, "Where's the girl?" And he goes, "I don't know," and then he just cracks him and knocks him out. I'm like, imagine going to like next. There's some t-shirts. I don't know, crack. I was like, what? That guy's dead now. That
Yeah,
guy's
he could have escaped.
unconscious, and then his workplace blows up.
He just get.
And I thought that was it's alright. He's got a license to kill though. This random guy.
guy that's afraid of spiders.
Yeah. So
I think that was also a last minute inclusion in the film.
Yes.
The painting thing.
Was yeah. You
It's
said
like-
that a guy had it. A guy just had it on him. Suspiciously had a replica of a stolen piece of art.
No, I don't think it was quite that. I think it was more. It was in the news, and they were like, "Well, we need to make this layer more evil. What about putting that painting in that was stolen?"
The most evil act. Stolen art.
All art is overpriced.
Overpriced.
Yeah,
How?
it's all money laundering, isn't it?
Welcome to part 2 of the podcast. How's it money laundering?
Well, it's about washing your, isn't it? That's why it's so.
Is there not
It's
the,
like tax
is there not the thing of like
deductions.
a wealthy person will pay an artist to commission a painting for £20,000. The artist will take the 20,000, will paint a work of art, and they're probably quite a medium name artist. The wealthy person now owns the art, gets it valued by
Yep.
I don't know the name, valuer.
Yeah.
someone, and they say, "Oh, this piece by this person is worth $100,000. Well done." And then that person donates that to a museum.
Ah,
They go,
so-
thanks for that. And then when they're doing their tax return, go,
They can do a
Yeah,
deduction.
no, I've donated $100,000 worth. Oh,
Yeah.
good you. You don't need to give us $100,000.
Yeah, that's
you're,
all.
You're right, Jack. You've sweet
That-
me in 10 seconds.
That's all it is.
Fuck art.
That's all art is.
I hope we've changed people's opinions of the art.
We're calling out the art world here.
You should buy your art from charity shops.
Yeah, just
That's the
ask
message
students.
here. Ask students.
Yeah, just ask students to paint you stuff. Then if you want original stuff.
If you're an artist and disagree with these comments, then
It stacks up.
we should comment. I don't know. Yeah, I'm quite happy with that. We went through that fine. Will we go through the questions one more time?
Okay,
Before we
hit
get-
me with
right.
the first question.
Right, so we'll go through the 3 questions. So question 1 was, Dr. No has dual nationalities, Chinese, and what else? Question 2 was, how much would one of the shells Honey Rider found on the beach sell for in Miami? Sheet shell. And number 3, there is a real-life stolen piece of art that is on display in Dr. No's lair. Who is the portrait of? You should follow us on social media and send all your answers to us in a DM.
DM us on Instagram.
Yes.
And we'll put up the answers on our stories at some point.
Yes. Hope you've liked this podcast. I hope we
And-
get better at it.
A winner will be chosen and a shout out will be given.
Yes, we will give you a shout out. That's all we have.
There's no prizes.
We'll give you this
no
sheet,
prizes.
this sheet of paper, which you can get valued as a piece of art and then claim tax back on it. Well done. So yeah, we hope you've enjoyed this. This has been episode 1 of hopefully at least 26 episodes. 26? Yes?
25.
25. Oh, fucking. Never actually watched the films, I'm not a fan.
It's all a lie.
I don't like spiders. So yeah, if you want to, on the platform you're watching it, whether it is or watching it is YouTube,
What you can watch this on YouTube. You can listen to it.
there'll be clips on
everything.
Instagram. Follow us on Instagram and the TikToker and
the
on the
kids.
Facebook, the Facebook. There will be clips on there. And if you're listening to this on Spotify and Apple Podcasts and any other streaming platform, make sure to rate it. Be honest. If it's shite, don't rate it. If it's good,
Yeah.
rate it.
If you can't say something good, don't say anything.
Next time, we will be looking into From Russia with Love, where Jack will open the podcast by singing the Matt Monro classic.
Oh, can't wait for it. Can't wait. Can't wait.
We can't, we're not finished
Oh
yet.
no, we're not finished
We're
yet.
not
You're
finished.
right.
Almost forgot. Fucking amateurs.
Amateurs. You should have written it down.
For those who are listening, this might not make a whole lot of sense, but for those who are watching it, we will have a Top Gear style board where we will not rank we are ranking the films actually.
Yeah, we're ranking the films
Not
on a
in terms of
personal
speed,
preference.
but on a personal preference of what we've just discussed and where we think we'll find.
Yeah. Right, so Derek has just picked up a board, a magnetic board.
Dr. No is in the middle, of course, because there's no
Yep,
other films
on
in
a
it yet.
magnet.
So
Yeah, so it's there. I would actually say that Dr. No's in the middle and Jack is lowering it to the top of the last third because I think it's kind of
So yeah, okay. Well, you've just given your impressions that
Yeah.
you don't like this film.
2.5 out of 5. It's the first one, but
Out of 5.
yeah. How are we ranking it?
There's no rank. There's just position on the whiteboard.
Right, okay, well,
Such is life.
it's lower third.
Okay, well, we'll put that there and then we'll see where the next films come. So as the weeks go on, it'll go higher or lower. I was going to say, let us know what you think. I don't care. We can't hear you. So yeah, this will change as the weeks go on, and that will be the board.
I'm looking to see what comes out on top, actually. That'd be good.
I know it'll come out on top.
Do you?
Yes, but
Or you just have to wait.
you'll have to wait for
Several
episode something. Yes. Okay.
Okay,
Well,
thanks
that
for
was good.
listening.
Thank you for listening. Bye-bye.
Bye.